Hey guys, long time no see. It's Mrs. Klein.
Hey, and it's Mr. Creighton. We're here to introduce the podcast 4.2. And in the previous podcast 4.1, you heard about the rise and fall of the Umayyads and how the Muslim Empire split into eastern and western sections. In this podcast, you will learn about the years of Abbasid rule in the east.
It's called the Golden Age in the East, you guys.
Yeah, and you can find that on pages 119 to 125. Just a reminder, you will have a podcast quiz tomorrow, and here are the terms and names you need to know. Standing Army, Baghdad, Golden Age, Calligraphy, Omar Khayyam, and Faction. Just a reminder, when you hear this sound, it means you've just heard a vocab word.
All right, just as always, you guys, we have big ideas and essential questions. The big idea for this unit is belief systems influence people, cultures, and governments.
And the first essential question we'll be looking at is how important is religion in our lives?
All right, next up for the essential questions is how does religion and cultural diffusion shape society?
How do belief systems unify and create a new identity for people?
And what are different ways that belief systems grow and spread?
And the final one, how does the interaction between people and belief systems solidify and change beliefs?
All right, you guys, the first section of our podcast, our first section in the chapter lesson is Abbasid rule. You can find this on pages 119 and 120. You should be able to answer this question when we get to the end. How did the Abbasids build a powerful empire? The main way the Abbasids kept control of their empire was by force. They built a huge standing army, a fighting force that is kept in times of peace as well as war. Abbasid leaders put army units at military posts throughout the empire.
They also strengthened and united the empire by including different religious groups in the economic and political life of the empire. All Muslims, whether Arab or non-Arab, were treated equally. Christians and Jews were encouraged to serve in government.
The Abbasids also strengthened the empire by moving the capital from Damascus, which is in Syria, to Baghdad in Iraq. The new capital was closer to the area of their most loyal supporters. It was also on old trade routes linking east and west. Baghdad became a major trade center. Merchants there bought and sold goods not only from all parts of their empire, but also from China, India, Northern Europe, and Africa.
As trade grew, Baghdad prospered and expanded. By the early 800s, it had more than 900,000 residents. Agriculture and industry thrived. Newly irrigated lands helped farmers grow more crops. Craft workers made fine goods sold throughout Europe. The question you guys should be able to answer in your head right now: how did the Abbasids make sure they held onto power?
All right, our next section is Abbasid advances, and you'll find this information on pages 121 to 123 in your book. Be thinking about this question as you listen. What cultural advances did the Abbasids make? Okay, you guys, the Abbasids became rich mainly because of all that great trade. Some used their wealth to support the arts and learning. In the 800s, Muslim culture enjoyed a golden age. A golden age is a period during which a country and its culture are at their peak.
During this time, Abbasid artists became famous for beautiful designs in pottery and wood. Their designs were often drawings of plants, flowers, or geometric patterns. Many artists also became skilled at calligraphy, or the art of fine handwriting. Calligraphers decorated everything from books and buildings.
And you guys will remember from a couple of lessons ago that the Quran is written in calligraphy, so it's not just a religious work, but it's also a beautiful piece of art as well. During the Golden Age, Baghdad also became a center of bookmaking and literature. In the 750s, the Abbasids learned to make paper from the Chinese. This advance made it easier to make books and sparked interest in learning. Muslim scholars translated the works of Greek thinkers into Arabic. Muslim writers also created original works. Among the most popular were the tales of the 1001 Nights and the poems of Persian-born Omar Khayyam, author of the Rubaiyat.
At this time, Muslim scholars also made advances in mathematics. They built on the ideas of ancient Greeks, Egyptians, and Indians. Al-Khwarizmi drew on Indian ideas to create the Arabic numbering system we still use today. Our word algebra comes from a set of mathematical calculations he published. The poet Omar Khayyam used his knowledge of mathematics and astronomy to create an accurate calendar.
Muslim scholars also made advances in medicine. A doctor named Al-Razi analyzed old medical studies to identify and describe diseases. The Persian doctor Ibn Sina wrote a medical reference book that combined ancient works with recent Muslim discoveries. This book remained a key reference for more than 600 years. The Abbasids also set up hospitals throughout the empire. Unlike most other hospitals at that time, these hospitals treated poor people who couldn't pay. You should be able to answer this question now that you've listened to the section, you guys. Why is the Abbasid period considered a golden age for Muslim culture?
Our final section in
Might be the finest too.
it could be the finest in the podcast is the decline of the Abbasids. You can find this on page 124 through 125. The question we want you guys to be able to be thinking about as we go through: what problems led to the decline of Abbasid rule? The Abbasids faced challenges from within and from outside the empire. Factions, or opposing groups, within the empire first challenged Abbasid rule in the 800s. They disliked the Abbasid rulers for several reasons. Some Abbasid rulers were fond of easy living. They ignored their government duties. They failed to protect merchants from attacks by robbers. This hurt trade, which was a major source of wealth for the empire. When trade declined, the Abbasid caliphs raised taxes. This made people angry. It sounds really familiar. Didn't we learn about this in Rome?
I think we did learn about what happens when taxes get raised. People generally aren't too happy about that.
Not at all.
All right, a group called the Fatimids decided to revolt. The Fatimids claimed to be descended from Fatima, a daughter of Muhammad. They belonged to the Shia branch of Islam. The Abbasids belonged to the Sunni branch. The two groups had major religious differences. The Fatimids disliked the Abbasids' fancy lifestyle. They believed in living more simply.
In time, the Fatimids revolted and drove the Abbasids out of what is today Egypt and Tunisia. They set up their own government, making Cairo their capital. By the late 960s, they controlled much of North Africa.
Fighting with the Fatimids and other factions hurt the Abbasids. These problems made them more open to attack by foreigners. And in 1055, the Seljuk Turks from Central Asia captured Baghdad. A Seljuk leader became the ruler of the empire, and he did allow the Abbasid Caliph to stay on as a religious leader.
In time, the Seljuk converted to Islam. They expanded the lands under their control and captured Jerusalem. In 1258, a warrior tribe called the Mongols captured and destroyed Baghdad. They killed the Abbasid Caliph ending the Abbasid rule and the Seljuk Abbasid Empire. The question you guys should be able to answer in your head right now: why did the Abbasid rule end? Just a reminder, you guys will have a podcast quiz tomorrow. Mrs. Klein, can you run through those terms one more time?
Absolutely. So these are your podcast. These are the terms for your podcast quiz: standing army, Baghdad, golden age, calligraphy, Omar Khayyam, and faction.
Awesome.
All right, you guys, we're out of here. Have a nice day.
One love.